Hello and welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. How's everyone doing in 2026? What? 2026, yo. I know I already did a podcast about it, so I won't go into the whole New Year's thing. But I will discuss the fact that in this new year, I am hoping that more and more people will check out my podcast, that more and more people will be like, hey, check out this crazy lady. She just rambles on about absolutely nothing, but somehow it's addicting. Somehow we just can't get enough of her craziness. So if you want to get on board the crazy train, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And go ahead and follow me on Twitter and on Clapper and on Instagram. I had a Instagram account. It got hacked. I had to start totally over. So now I have a brand new Instagram account. And then, of course, download my podcast and puck that way. As my Henry has a lot to say today. He is vocal. He is feeling the moment. He is loud and proud. So yes, if you could like and subscribe, if you could download my videos, check out my podcast, that would mean the world to me. And you're like, well, why do I care what you think, Courtney? I don't even know you. I've never met you. Why do I want to do something nice? Why do I not please you? You don't have to. I'm not asking you to. But if you feel like doing something nice and you feel like listening, sometimes I actually have some worthwhile things to say. Sometimes I may say things that you agree with and that you can empathize with, you can understand where I'm coming from. I don't always talk politics. I talk about family. I talk about work. I talk about life. I talk about animals. I talk about literally everything. But what am I going to talk about today? What has been keeping me up as of recently? Okay, well, first I'm going to say I'm trying my best to work on, so for example, if I feel that someone has wronged me, if I feel that someone has done something wrong and they owe me an apology, I get very upset when people don't apologize. I don't want people to apologize if they don't mean it. So it's not like I want one if they don't mean it. If they don't mean it, then fine. Then don't apologize. But then I guess I should say it still bothers me if they don't mean it. I want them to mean it, but it bothers me if they don't feel they owe me an apology. They don't feel they're wrong. Because there are certain people that do it all the time. So I'm like, so I'm just literally always the one that's wrong. You are just never, ever, ever wrong. So I'm always going to have to be the bigger person and move on and move onward and upward, despite the fact that you refuse to ever take accountability. That frustrates me because lately we've gotten in this day and age where lately it's just been, there's no accountability. There's somehow actual victims are getting penalized. Actual victims are getting harassed and bullied and somehow being held accountable for things they didn't do. Bonnie! Hey, Bonnie! Bonnie! Sorry, my dog decided to go astray and she's losing her hearing, so... Anyway, it's frustrating to me when there are those people who just quite literally think they're always right. And I realize that if they're not going to give me an apology and they don't feel that they owe people apologies, I need to move on. I need to realize that that's just who they are as a human. And if I know that I'm better than that, I apologize when I'm wrong. And I don't think that I'm only wrong once every other year. And so I apologize. I apologize when I have said or done something that I feel is wrong. And that's the problem, is that nowadays no one thinks they do anything wrong. Nowadays, especially, extreme left people, extreme left-leaning people, they think the people that actually got murdered, like that poor kid that was murdered at the track meet by Anthony, what was his name? Anthony, shoot. Anyway, we don't need to remember his name. He's not somebody worthy of remembering. He's a kid who, because he was black, the extreme left made it okay and made excuses as to why it was okay to kill a white kid. And that is just where we are in the world, just like right now with this whole fraud with the Somalis. I mean, the Somalis are getting on social media, making videos, admitting, bragging, emboldened by the fact that they are stealing taxpayer monies. And they brag about it. They admit it. They've admitted it now on national TV, on the news. It has been proven. And for some reason, liberals are like, we only care if Trump is doing it. We only care if white Republicans are committing fraud. We only care if white Republicans are unaliving people. We only care if white Republicans are bullying and censoring and harassing, which doesn't happen. That's not happening. I would love to see evidence of some Republican that went and unalived somebody because they were wearing a Biden shirt, because they were wearing a Antifa shirt, because they were wearing an article of clothing that they didn't like. It doesn't happen. That's why there aren't videos of that. I mean, I'm sure it's happened before. I'm not saying it's never, ever, ever happened. But the times that has happened in all of history is incredibly little. Whereas right now we are having, again, Charlie Kirk, perfect example, assassinated by the left because of an opinion. There was a Trump supporter wearing a MAGA hat in Portland, assassinated because he had an article of clothing on that this Antifa member disagreed with. There have been massive shootings now because of the left disagreeing with what people have to say. Like right now, Nicki Minaj somehow is a bad person, and the liberals are saying it's bad to want people to love themselves. Do not love yourself. Hate yourself so much that you rip off, you tear off, you mutilate. You do irreversible damage to your body. Hate your body and yourself so much that you rip it to shreds and mutilate the crap out of it. That is the message that the liberals want spread around, because otherwise Nicki Minaj's and the Republicans' message of no. Please don't mutilate yourself. Please don't do that. Please love yourself. Please love the body that God gave you. Please be happy in your uniqueness. Celebrate your uniqueness. Support each other and be kind to each other, no matter what their eye, skin, and hair color is. You should be kind. You should love yourself. You should be kind to others and to yourself. You should not mutilate yourself, and you should educate yourself. That is the message that Nicki Minaj spread. And the liberals are like, no, you must mutilate yourself. You must unalive anybody that thinks any differently than you, while saying that we love diversity, while going around pretending that we are the prom king and kings, the prom king and queens of diversity. Liberals act like they invented the word and they invented the concept, but they seem to forget about the Civil War. They always forget about the Civil War. They always forget about the fact that they wanted segregation and they wanted slaves. They always forget that there were more white slaves than black slaves. They always forget that more black people kill other black people than white people kill black people. That's an actual fact. It's not an opinion. They forget about facts. They don't like facts because facts are not in the Democrats' favor, especially right now, and all throughout history. All throughout history, Democrats have not fought for the side of good. And they like to just dismiss that. But boy, do they want everybody else's history thrown in their face. Well, no, they actually don't want everybody else's history thrown in their face. They don't want black people history thrown in their face. They don't want anybody else's. They don't want Muslim history and Palestine's history. They don't want Iran's history thrown in everybody's face. They don't want Palestine's history thrown in everybody's face. They don't want Somalia's history. They don't want South Africa's history. They only want the part that shows white people, especially white Republicans, being shitty people. But you see, shitty people come in all shapes and sizes. That is the beauty of diversity. Diversity means that people of all shapes and sizes can be assholes. Because being diverse, and in America, we actually have tons of diversity. We have people from all different walks of life. Although, okay, Henry, hello. I'm trying to do a podcast here. Can we? He's very, very worked up about the Somalis. He's very worked up about libtards. He's just not into them. And if you're not worked up about fraud, I don't care if this fraud was coming from a white Republican, it would be wrong. I don't care if this fraud was coming from a white, straight, conservative person. I would still think it's wrong. Just like I think it would be wrong if AOC or Nancy Pelosi was assassinated because of their beliefs. Well, in general, I mean, people shouldn't assassinate one another regardless, but especially because of their beliefs. I would have thought that was wrong. Would I have been sad? Would I have gone to their funeral? Would I have shed a tear? No. But I certainly wouldn't have been happy either. Just because I'm not going to be sad doesn't mean I'm going to rejoice. Just because I'm not going to be sad about evil people dying doesn't mean I'm going to rejoice, doesn't mean I'm going to be happy about it either. Because I'm not happy when someone assassinates another human being for no effing reason whatsoever. And I'm not happy even when that human being is someone I don't care for. So I don't think it's okay to go after someone because of an article of clothing. Like, I wear my sweatshirt that says freedom on it, and people don't like that. And I'm like, so you don't like freedom? You have a problem with, what do you have a problem with when my sweatshirt says freedom? What about freedom bothers you? I'll tell you what bothers anyone that has an issue with the Charlie Kirk shirt that says freedom. I'll tell you what it is that bothers them. They don't believe in freedom unless it's freedom for them to tell you how much they hate your shirt. Boy, they want that freedom. They want the freedom and the right to say how much they can't stand you, how much they hate you. They want the freedom to show fake decapitated heads of Trump and talk about unaliving him. They want the freedom to burn things. They want the freedom to destroy things. They want the freedom to go around telling everybody else what pieces of crap they are. And they want the freedom to bully and censor and fire and cancel anybody that has a different opinion than them. They want those freedoms. They want freedoms for them. But what bothers them about these shirts that say freedom is they're like, oh, shit, though. That means that you also get freedom. That means you also have the freedom to tell me something that might hurt my feelings. Oh, I can't function in life unless everybody goes around telling me how great I am. And if I don't have a mirror constantly around me and my cell phone to look into at all times to tell me how great I am, and if I'm not surrounded by people that don't pump my ego up, then I'm fragile and I'll break and I'm delicate and I can't handle it. I just want the freedom for everybody else to tell everybody else how I feel, because it's about me, 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 me. I want to talk about you, want to talk about I want to talk about number one, oh my, me and my, what I think, what I like, what I know, what I want, what I see. I love talking about you usually, but occasionally I want to talk about me. Yeah, Toby Keith had it right. Why does it always have to be? I mean, and same with this Venezuela thing. Listen, here's the deal. The actual Venezuelan citizens are happy right now. And you can't stand happiness. Happiness, nothing pisses off a liberal more than facts and happiness and pride. God, they hate facts and happiness and pride. They're like, son of a bitch. I want to be miserable, uneducated, and hate myself. I want to be as miserable and unhappy as possible. So fuck happiness. Fuck people rejoicing. And I don't want to be proud of myself. I want to hate myself so much that I have to scar myself up. So fuck people that are proud of their bodies. Fuck people that love themselves. Fuck people that are proud of their heritage. I am blonde hair, blue eyes, and fair skin. There's nothing for me to apologize for. I was born this way, can't do anything about it, don't want to do anything about it, would not do anything about it if I could. Sure, I think my teeth are bad. There are a lot of things cosmetically that I may fix, like I would love to fix my teeth. I would love to get a tan every now and then and not be so pasty. I'd love to get hair extensions or have my hair be thicker. But I'm proud of my blonde hair. I'm proud of my fair skin. I'm proud of my blue eyes. And there's nothing wrong with me saying that. There is, however, something vastly, deeply, deeply wrong with you. You are very disturbed if you have a problem with me liking myself. You are a very insecure and deeply disturbed human if you don't want people to feel comfortable in their own skin, and you're mad at Nicki Minaj for telling people to be comfortable in their own skin. And then you have the audacity to say that you are these tolerant, peace-loving, accepting, non-judgmental people, which you know is bullshit. Only really unhappy people go around caring so much about very frivolous things and materialistic things, but spend no time and energy. They don't devote that same energy into things that actually help, that actually matter. Isn't that interesting? They know they're worthless. And speaking of worthless, oh my God, I used to work for a place that has decided that I'm so scary that they have to try and they don't want me to talk to them ever again. Now, this place is hilarious because it's full of people who it's a sad group of people. It's a bunch of people under the age of 18 and then one adult. And that adult doesn't really, using the term adult that's a very loose term with her. She doesn't behave like an adult in any stretch of the imagination. And her kids are absolute pot-stirring tyrants. And they're just as batshit crazy as their mother. And then there is a group of kids that work there that are very upstanding kids. I feel bad that they are in the situation they are, but I guess thankfully the owner of that place doesn't treat... Come on, guys. Anyway, part of what's been keeping me up is people that I used to work for. Oh, Lord. Talk about hot mess. I'm trying my best. Gosh. I'm trying my best to work on me and not worry about what takes me off about others. How other people behave is only my business when I allow it to be my business and I allow it to affect me. So it is definitely up to me how others how I allow others to treat me, how I respond to that. But it's incredibly frustrating when you have a group of people who are supposed to be adults, and from the get-go, from the minute that they took over, they started out lying, and they started out, with such deep lies. And when you would ask them, hey, is this going on? No. And they wanted nothing to do with the business, and you go out of your way to make sure that that business not only stays afloat, but that the customers and everybody involved is taken care of. And you end up having your own relationship, your own home, and your own life deteriorate because you choose to put another person's business before your own health and your own life. And that was my choice. But I had, the only other choice was to let that business fail, which I could have done, but I cared about it at that point because I had been there for so long that I really didn't want it to fail, and I had invested so much time in it that I wasn't going to do that. But when they took over, they made it very clear from the beginning how they were going to conduct themselves and what their character was. Because when you start off a brand new business and you don't know anybody, and your first character trait that you show is being a liar and being manipulative, well, that's not great. I don't feel like that's the best foot to start off on. And then, prior to that, the previous person that owned the place had hired somebody. And again, the minute that person started, got a really bad feeling about them. Didn't like them from the beginning. I was like, oh, classic narcissist. I have been around enough narcissists to know, and people might go, oh, it takes one to know one. But again, I don't think there's a human out there that would call me a narcissist. I really don't. Oh my gosh, if you hear the most obnoxious hyena sounding yodeling in the back, that is not a dog being abused. That is not a murder occurring. No, it is my dog throwing an absolute shit fit because I am not in her line of sight. The reason I'm not in her line of sight is because she is going deaf and she keeps taking off, because that's what she does. That's part of why she's my dog. Why, oh God, sorry, I'm out of breath. She's my dog because of the fact that she's absolutely ridiculous and a Velcro dog who can't handle life unless she is the center of everyone's universe. She must be a liberal. Whew, she must be a liberal. Anyway, oh my God, I'm out of breath. Anyway, these people hired, so the previous owner had hired somebody, and I didn't like them. From the beginning, I could tell that they were massively narcissistic, very, very shady. She was a hypocrite. She's manipulative, and I knew that her entire... Hey, stop. Gwen and Puck. Gwen. I knew the minute that she was hired, her goal was to try to get me out of there, get her family in. Now, currently, she's only been there for a couple of years. I had been there for 8. And the new owners, one of them is the same age, like 2 years younger than my coworker. And they got to be really good friends. And even though my coworker talked a lot of trash about the owner's husband, which is, one of the owners, I should say, talked a lot of trash to their faces. Oh, she would say all the right things. And then they literally thought that my coworker could do no wrong. Now, keep in mind, again, these are already people that don't have good morals. They started off lying and being manipulative and not taking care of their business, not caring about their business, and then decided that they were going to glob on to another person that also lies, is a hypocrite, and is narcissistic. Because, they got to stick together. So what really bothered all of them, I think, is that the customers used to always tell them from the very beginning, oh my gosh, there's new owners. I hope that Courtney's still there. I hope that Courtney's still there. And in the reviews, it would say, I'm glad Courtney's still there. And so I think that it really, really, really bothered them and bothered my coworker that they were the new people and they had to now kind of start from scratch and build up that trust with the customers, trust that I had built after almost 8 years. So it's sad. Oh my gosh, I've been trying to do this podcast today. Again, I know if I would just do one on a computer, like a normal human, and I wouldn't do it while I'm trying to exercise my dogs and walk around, and then you guys wouldn't have to hear me panting and yelling at my dogs, and I'm not yelling at my dogs, so calm down everybody out there. I love dogs and animals more than I like humans. I don't hurt animals, I spoil them, but I mean yell for them because they're deaf and I have to scream so they can hear me. I've been trying to do this podcast for the last 2 freaking hours now. Anyway, point is, there are people out there that go out of their way to just be bad people. And maybe it's just super easy for them. They just don't have that desire to have morals and values. They don't want to have ethics. And shitty people stick together. And then they're never happy. And then other people start noticing. And other people start paying attention. And so I'm trying my best to stop looking at it like I want an apology. I deserve an apology. I do. Because the amount of shit that they put me through, the level of insanity that they allowed against me, and the amount of stuff they allowed to happen and did not ever fire anybody. They didn't reprimand anybody. Not only did they not do that, they called me a liar. I had witnesses over stuff. There are cameras. I'm still a liar. Because they don't want to know the truth. That is what liberals are doing right now. The facts are right in front of them. Hell, the Somalis are admitting on all of their social media videos. They are sitting there mocking us. They're mocking us. They're admitting that they are committing fraud. They're admitting that they're scamming us. And people are still sticking up for those people and not the ones that are actually fucking working. I cannot afford insurance right now. I cannot go and get my dogs on insurance right now. I can't get insurance. I don't get a fancy cell phone. I had to refurbish an old cell phone. I can't afford to fix my car right now. But these Somali people and these people that aren't working, aren't paying taxes, somehow are the same people who have brand new cell phones and nice cars, and they live in apartments that they can afford the rent, and they can buy steaks and they can buy all kinds of food. I have to actually pay for my food. I have to pay for my insurance. I have to pay for my car payments. I have to pay for gas. I have to pay for my cell phone. I have to pay for health insurance. And now I can't afford that because I'm getting 23% of my taxes taken out. And then the government turns around and goes, guess what? 23%? That ain't enough. I was making $21 an hour. Now, a lot of you that don't live in the state of Oregon are going to go, $21 an hour. Holy, yeah. Guess what? A 1-bedroom apartment costs $1,500 in the state of Oregon. You can find them in Salem for like $950 to $1,000, but you're going to live in a really shit part of Salem. You're going to live in a really not good part of Salem. Hey! A gallon of milk is like $5. If you, God forbid, want a 2-bedroom, you're looking at anywhere from $1,600 to $2,000 for a 2-bedroom. So that's why it's $21 is not a whole lot. I'm not saying it's nothing. I'm not saying I didn't make any money. But I'm saying $21 sounds like a lot when you live in states where minimum wage is like $7. But when you live in the state of Oregon that has the highest taxes, it's really effing frustrating when they would take out $950 a month. That's how much I got taken out of my checks. $950 was taken out each month. And then on top of that, the state of Oregon says, guess what? We want you to pay another $900. And then meanwhile, people that are not working and have a million kids and already get free health care and free food and free fucking everything, thanks to me. Again, I would love to have an apology or a you're welcome. But thanks to me, your children have stuff. You have food, and I have to starve, and I have to hope and pray to God I don't need to go to the doctor. And I have to hope and pray to God that my dogs don't need to go to the vet. And I don't get to just buy whatever the fuck I want at the grocery store. I have to be on a budget. Do liberals know what a budget is? Clearly not, because they're always the one that has us in a recession. They're always the one that has the gas prices and food prices and the economy in the toilet. So clearly they don't know math, and they don't know what a budget is, because Democrats haven't been able to balance a budget since there have been Democrats. I mean, I guess Republicans don't either, to be fair. But I do. I know how to budget. I'm forced to budget. I have to budget because of people out there who, like the Somalis, who scam and scam and scam. People out there, like any person who has decided to say that they're disabled when they aren't, to not get a job because they would rather, again, if you're unemployed, there's nothing wrong with being unemployed if you've been fired or if you have abuse, like I have in my past with past employers. I suffered major abuse and a lot of hostility and a lot of bad stuff, and that's why so many people aren't working there anymore. And so I get if you need to quit and not have a job for a while, but people make it a lifestyle. They make not working a lifestyle. They make mooching off of the government a lifestyle while saying how much they hate America, and that's what pisses me off. But I'm trying very hard to go, all right, but I can't change them. I can't focus on them. I can only make myself a better person. I can only control my responses. And if I allow people to look at the world in such a horrible way, then why am I even living? Why do I get out of bed every day if all I'm going to do is seek out negativity or feed in to negativity? Again, I had some people that I used to work for that they're such evil, negative people that even the animals around them, even their own animals, didn't like them. How bad is it when people will text and go, wow, the people there now are really weird. I don't like the energy. When someone goes out of your way to text someone that isn't there, that doesn't work there, that's kind of weird, right? I don't know. But I can only focus on me. I can't focus on other people. I've had a lot of jobs that I've worked with people from all different backgrounds. I worked at Job Corps, and I've worked with people from many different backgrounds. And it's not a matter of what your skin color is or even politics. I have a lot of Democrat friends, and we get along perfectly. We either don't discuss politics at all, or if we do, we just do it in a mature way. Because there are some basic principles we can agree. I get along well with OG Democrats. The OG Democrats are great. I'm talking, when I say these things, I'm talking about the crazy libs. I'm talking about the crazy libs. I'm not talking about your normal Democrat that was from the 90s Democrat. I like 90s Democrats. I even like 2000 Democrats, but anything from 2010 until now, it's very difficult to see something eye to eye. That's why I'm going to work on me. I'm going to work on being the best human I can be. I'm going to work on things that I can control. I'm not going to try to worry about if someone owes me an apology or if someone's right or wrong or what someone else believes, what someone else thinks. I'm I am going to focus on my beliefs and me trying to be a better person, because Lord knows I have said and done a lot of things I'm not proud of in my lifetime. I admit them. I own them. I don't make excuses for things that I have said and done. I've given reasons. I've tried to explain why I do things, but I still say, but the why is not really relevant. I am still sorry when I do stuff. So I'm going to focus on continuing to better myself and work on things that need improvement, like not worrying if someone apologizes, not worrying if, I feel someone's wrong. Because unless someone is affecting my life, which, oh, by the way, so I've been getting prank phone calls. This started way back after I was let go and from a company. By the way, this whole time I've never said the name of any companies. I've never said who I was talking about, never mentioned names of people. When I say coworkers, I say coworkers. I don't say names. When I say people I used to work for, I say people I used to work for. I've worked for many people. I have many companies I have worked for. I have many companies who have swapped owners and swapped businesses. I used to work for an assisted living facility that was owned by one company, and then Avamere took it over. I don't remember what company owned them prior to Avamere, but a whole new company took over. A whole new manager came in. They kind of revamped everything. So there are many, many people out there I have worked for, and I've had many coworkers. I've never mentioned names or names of businesses, and I've had numerous jobs where I've worked with animals. So, but I just feel like if you are getting up, so I started receiving right after I was let go from a place. I started receiving prank phone calls. And of course it says no caller ID. And the reason that I answer those is I am like, well, what if it's from the police and something happened? Like if my family's not around, I'm a morbid, fucking pessimistic. And I'm always like, oh my God, what if this is a police officer and they're telling me something like something happened to my family, or something happened. So I always answer the no caller ID. I don't just let it go to voicemail because I'm worried that I'm going to miss something important. Well, I got in one day, I got 8 phone calls. And every time I ignored them, they would just call back and call back and call back. So I thought, okay, what I'm going to do instead is keep them on the phone. And I'm not going to say anything. And that worked for a while. Then they would call back and I'd keep them on the phone. And I just started talking to them. And I was like, hey, do you like the show Cougar Town? You should watch Cougar Town. And just so you know, if you stay on the phone, I'm going to take the phone in when I go to the bathroom. I'm going to take the phone in if I take a shit. You're going to come with me everywhere. You can watch Cougar Town with me. Have you seen Cougar Town? How are you? And they kept trying to, of course, harass me. And then I would say things like, don't call back. Do not call me back. This is not something I'm okay with. You need to stop. And I took pictures of every time they would call, and I recorded the conversations, which you can do now. None of it was working. They kept calling and kept calling. So finally I said, here's the deal. I think I know who you are. And regardless if I know you or not, I'm going to get a blowhorn. And when you call again, I'm going to take that blowhorn and I'm going to put it as close to the speaker on my phone as possible. And I'm going to press that blowhorn and you are going to no longer be able to hear. It is going to rupture your eardrum. It is going to burst your eardrum and you will no longer be able to hear, and it'll be very painful. And if I know you, because this is a small town, if I know you and you are somebody who I thought you were, because I think it is a company that I used to work for, one of the customers, I think it's her son, or I think it's my old coworkers, piece of crap kids, because they're thugs. She has just god-awful children. They're not children. Anyway. I think it's them, or it's some punk kid that I helped out and allowed him to live with me, and he has gone around and His mom and his entire family, his siblings have all shut him out because every time they try to help, every time he has lived with them, he has absolutely screwed them over, fucked them over, and has been a bad kid. And I tried to help that kid. So I think it's either him or it's one of my coworkers' kids or an old customer of mine kid. So I'm like, it's a small town, and if I know you and suddenly you're walking around with your ear all bandaged, or suddenly you have to explain to your boss or explain to your family member why you can no longer hear, how are you going to do that? How are you going to explain to people why you can no longer hear? So I highly suggest, and again, I didn't do this right off the bat. It's not like the second someone called me, I blew an air horn into their ear. No, this is warning after warning. This is me telling them that I would do it if they called back. I said, this is your warning. I will do it. You will lose your hearing. I have taken pictures of every time you have called. I have recorded, Gwen! I have taken pictures of every time you have called. I have recorded our conversations. I have tried everything like ignoring you. I've tried to ignore you. That doesn't work. I have tried just having the phone on and not saying a word. That doesn't work. I have tried saying, don't call back. This is not warranted. I don't want you to call back. That doesn't work. I have tried being polite and having normal conversations with you like, hey, look, here's Cougar Town. That didn't work. So I'm not saying to do it right away, but an old boss of mine taught me that. She did it to a person that kept calling and calling and calling. And she said the same thing. She said, you call back again, I'm putting a blowhorn in your ears. And I'll be damned if those people didn't call back again. And now there's some person out there that can no longer hear in either their right or left ear. So if whoever has been calling me, whoever the prank call is, if it's anybody that listens to my podcast, no, I can't wait for you to call back. And if you think you're going to do the same to me, that's hilarious. So I just suggest that you don't call me. I suggest you get a life, you find God. I suggest you use all of that energy. You're obsessed with me, and I'm flattered with that. I love that you love me. I love that you're addicted to my voice. You should listen to if you're listening to my podcast and you're prank calling me, you really love me. And I think that you should get someone your own age. I think you should get a job or a life. I think you should devote yourself to being a better human and finding hobbies. Because again, this is a childish thing. And I have a feeling that the parents know about this. But, so yeah. If you ever, that's a good way to deal with, and also having a blowhorn a foghorn, whatever you call them, in your house is pretty good. Will definitely alert people to anybody in the house, definitely draw attention, and take someone by surprise. But, so if you're listening, whoever's been calling, because you are obsessed with me, you love me, you think I am amazing, that's the only reason that someone would continue to call, is that they seriously are either threatened by me, they're jealous of me, they think I'm amazing. But otherwise you wouldn't waste your time. If you didn't like me, you just wouldn't waste your time. If you had a problem with me, prank calling doesn't do anything. It doesn't resolve that problem unless you're a child, which it still doesn't resolve the problem. But at any rate, I'm going to take a blowhorn to your ear, and you will be hearing impaired. It will be painful. So just know that. Anyway, so for 2026, I'm going to not be bitter, which I sound like I still am, huh? You're like, good job, Courtney. You're not starting off on the right foot here. But it's a work in progress. I didn't say I was going to change overnight, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. Either was completely revamping my I do deeply care when I am wronged. I don't like to be wronged. I don't like shit being said about me that's not true. I don't like it when people act like they're innocent when they're not. I don't like people playing victims when they aren't. I don't like people coming in and trying to be manipulative, hypocritical narcissists. I just don't like it. And again, if you have a problem with someone's article of clothing, that is you having your own deep-rooted issues. That is very much a you issue, because you shouldn't have a problem with freedom, because you certainly exercise your freedom when you're out crying like a fool on the internet, or yelling and screaming on the internet, or telling other people that you hate their t-shirt or their hat. That is your freedom, and you exercise it. You just don't like it because you don't want anybody else to have those same freedoms, because you don't want to hear someone else tell you what to do. You don't want to hear someone else's opinions because you're so wrapped up in yourself. You. Just like people that are upset that Venezuela's leader is now no longer there to terrorize his country, and the Venezuelan people are rejoicing. Somehow, the liberals are like, oh, that's bad. Well, that's funny, because Venezuela doesn't find it bad, so how did you make it about you again? Very narcissistic. So I'm going to work on not being narcissistic. I mean, I'm already not narcissistic. I'm a lot of things. I have a lot of flaws, but narcissism is not one of them. And I'm going to work on the things I can work on. I'm going to work on being a good human, to love thy neighbor, to give grace. If I don't like a certain person, I can turn the channel. I can swipe right or left. I can choose not to listen to them. I can choose how to respond, and I'm going to work on that. So I think everybody else should do whatever they want. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But I hope and pray that we all try every day to be better people. Because what's wrong with that, right? What's wrong with loving ourselves and being proud of ourselves? I encourage people to love themselves. I hope that you, whether you're a plus size person, whether you are someone from India, someone from Iran, again, I have nothing against people from certain countries. I have a problem with the people that are from certain countries, even if it's America, unaliving people and threatening people and censoring and bullying. I have a problem with people that do that. Not a certain color of people that do that. I have a problem when certain races get away with things that other races would not. I have a problem when illegal immigrants get things that U.S. citizens do not. I have a problem with people that don't work getting back taxes that they never paid, and meanwhile I owe taxes and can't get insurance. And it's okay for me to have a problem with that. That's a normal thing. It's a normal thing for me to be upset that I have to pay 23% in taxes. I'm not even a rich person. 23% kills me, especially with how much it costs to live in the state of Oregon. So, you're welcome to everybody out there that I'm supporting. I should be able to put you as an independent. Frankly, I shouldn't have to pay taxes given how much the government has stolen from us, given the fact that Social Security is a mandatory thing. I've been paying for Social Security since I was 14 years old. It was made. I had to do it. They told me I had to do it. I didn't have a choice. The government said you have to do this. And now they're stealing that from me. Now, if I didn't pay my taxes, the government would audit me. The government would take my money out of my paycheck. They would actually take the money out of my paycheck and make me pay it back. Really, are they going to pay me back the $100,000 that they stole from me? Are they going to pay back the $100,000 that they owe me? Are all these Somalis going to pay back? And is Tim Waltz and Jacob Frey, are they going to pay back money? Is Gavin Newsom going to pay back the money? No, but we're expected to. Oregon is extremely expensive, and we have one of the highest tax brackets, and it's still not enough. And I would not be a little bit surprised, not even a tiny bit, if there's fraud going on here too. We should absolutely look into all the businesses here, because if it's ran by a Democrat, it's shady. That is what has been proven proven time and time again. If it's ran by a Democrat, it is shady. If it's ran by a Democrat, we know it's shady. It's been proven. It has been proven where it's ran by a Republican, it's shady too. The government in general, politicians in general are shady. I'm not saying there haven't been Republicans out there that haven't screwed people over. There have. But Democrats make a just mission out of it. Being hateful, unwelcoming, spiteful, unhinged, hateful, racist, intolerant, deplorable humans. Sorry, that's where I'm at. Man, I'm not making a good case for me being a better person. I guess I'm not quite there yet. Ooh, I need to pray a lot. I need to walk the walk. I have to walk the walk. If I'm not going to walk the walk, then I shouldn't be talking the talk, right? I've got to back up what I'm saying. I have to find peace with the terrible humans out there. Because again, there's terrible humans from all walks of life. White, black, Indian, Asian, Native American, Hispanic, conservative, Republican, independent, fat, skinny, tall, short, no matter what country. There's bad people from all shapes and sizes, and I'm just tired of bad people. I go out of my way to try to be a good person every day. I go out of my way to get up and go to work no matter what is going on. And I have been backstabbed and betrayed by people that I love. And so I guess the bitterness is hard to swallow when I also have it going on everywhere around me. When I can't wear a shirt without people making a comment, I'm tired. I want to just be left the fuck alone. I never comment on people's shirt unless I like it. I don't comment on people's clothing or hair unless I'm giving them a compliment. Does anyone remember what a compliment is anymore? Do we know how to treat people kind anymore? Have we forgotten how to be decent humans? Have we forgotten how to be good humans with actual morals and character? I mean, when George Floyd and Obama and Hillary Clinton and Tim Walz and Kamala Harris are your idols, when people that murder others, you promote and you condone, I don't know. It's hard to get past. Getting past murder is difficult, you know. But I forget that forgiving does not mean condoning. When you forgive someone and you give grace, it doesn't mean you're condoning. So, I'm a work in progress. I guess today I'm not a better person. I guess today I have failed. I mean, I haven't unalived anybody. I haven't said anything mean to anybody. I've said, I mean, you guys are probably going to be like, yeah, you just said a whole bunch of rude shit about Democrats. But again, I'm going to say right now, I haven't ran into a lot of people that are in the Democrat Party that say things that are very kind. Now, Gwen, come. Now, that said, I have a lot of Democrat friends and I do love them. And I know that I had a lot of customers that are wonderful people that are Democrats. So I need to shut my face. I need to stop saying Democrat and Republican because I'm feeding into that. I'm feeding into the negativity. I'm feeding into the hate. Anytime I say Democrat or Republican, that's me pinning two people against each other. So I apologize. I am wrong. I need to work on this. This is something I'm really trying. I never, ever used to say Democrats are. I just said people. And again, if you listen to my podcasts and you listen to my videos, I say people. I have a problem with people of all walks of life, Republicans included, that do bad things. Do not care what your political association is. I have a problem with humans that behave badly. So, I have a problem when I behave badly, and today is probably not a good day, but it's just got so exhausting when no matter where you go, you get betrayed and you get put down, and you're sitting here trying every day to be like, all right, look on the positive, be happy, and yet people being like, you suck, you shit, you're garbage, because you have an opinion. You haven't hurt anybody. You haven't done anything to hurt anybody, but you're still a garbage human, and you need to hear how much of a garbage human you are. It's like, oh my God. So I'm not allowed to be on the internet or watch anything because people just tell me what a garbage human I am. And I'm tired of that, you know? So this world is a beautiful world. This world is beautiful. This world is full of wonderful people. I have met so many amazing humans. I'm surrounded by amazing humans. I'm fortunate to be around people who have helped me in so many ways. So I've got to focus on the good people and focus on me and my behaviors and how I respond. Today, I get probably a D+, C- in my behavior. So we'll see what my progress is next time. Because again, I got to walk the walk. I can't just talk the talk. I too am not above anything. I get mad at myself if I'm being a hypocrite, and I admit if I am being one. So I say to you, I wish you a wonderful day. I hope that you are surrounded by supporting and loving people. I hope that you are surrounded by people that make you feel good. I hope that you wake up, you take a breath, and you start the day with, hey, I'm alive. Hot damn, this is a good foot to start off on. I'm alive. So we're starting off already in a good position. And again, another way you can help is listening to the ramblings of an insomniac. Thank you so, so much to everybody out there. I genuinely appreciate you. It means the world to me. And again, if you want to check out YouTube, Instagram, or Twitter, I've got all of the above. And Clapper. I got kicked off of TikTok way back during COVID. So I don't have TikTok, plus I'm not going to use it again. I'm getting tired of Instagram too. Again, I had to start all over with my Instagram account. My old one got hacked into, so it's a brand new one. I got to start over, but I might get rid of that. Anyway, thank you so, so, so much. Until next time.